Are waiting for, and we're live. We are live. Hello, my dotlings. Welcome to our live stream with
me, Taryn, the co-founder of Back Porch Magick and creator of this nifty tarot training deck that we will probably talk about shortly.
Right. I love that deck. I have not yet bought my deck. I wish I'd have thought about that. That would have been something to think about when I came on your podcast to do. Should have gone and bought one then, and I didn't because they were really, really cool. I love the art.
Kat is an amazing artist. She is my business partner, and we early COVID quarantine were like, we want to weasel brain and make a thing that's accessible and easy. And so she put together all this nifty art, and I digitized it and created the packaging and put together all the keywords and stuff. So
that's cool. What's some of your favorite cards in there? Because I like they look very they remind me of kind of old school book doodles. You know, when you draw on your teacher and stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons I love it. So here's like the Page of Cups, and it's just very minimalistic, but Cups is about romance, relationships, emotions, matters of the heart. So the page is going forth in the matters of the heart with your heart. That's the daydreamer, right? So we've got the young woman looking longingly into the pool and reflecting.
That's really cool. I love that you've got the writing on there. It's like nothing like, I'm one of those bitches that needs something to like. A lot of my decks, I really like the ones that either got really, really great art that I can just sort of make up what I think, or they've got a word on them.
Mm-hmm. See, and I've read tarot for, I've been saying 15 years for like 5 years now, so a good minute.
Right.
But being somebody who is neurodivergent, ADHD, I'm a tactile learner.
We know something about that around here.
So like sitting down and reading a book about the potential symbolism for uprights and reversals, and then trying to do that into a spread. And then, okay, so we've got the Queen of Swords in this position, and we're going to flip in our book, and then we're going to see like all the correspondences and these like 2-3 long paragraphs about it. And then we're like, okay, so what does that mean with where we at? And then beside that we have, and then you're flipping, and that works for some people. That's good for some people. And for them, they can use whatever deck, and, the art is beautiful, and a lot of people collect decks. But for me, going back to if I were learning today, like if I was starting fresh, I would need like scribbled on cards that I can just throw them down and go, okay, so this landing right here in the center, it says catastrophe, destruction, upheaval. We're going through some stuff. So I can see right in front of me it laying in the present position. Oh shit, we're going through some stuff right now. And not it fills that gap so that you can access the intuition quicker and more directly without having to do all the research every single time.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you can't lie to your clients. So like,
right. This is definitely a training. And it's funny because I created this deck. So I've done some like Facebook live streams where I'm like, let's showcase, and we're going to do readings. And then we're going to get like the 5 of Swords and the 3 of Swords. And I'm like, this one is, just read it. And I'm sorry. I apologize. And you can't. It says what it says. Well, it could also mean some other nuanced.
Sure, there's things that could mean more than just your life's gonna fall apart, but probably it means your life's gonna fall apart, dear. Sorry about
that. Just
there's
buckle
nothing
up.
Worse than I don't know about you, but I get my cards read by a bunch of different. I love to get my fortune told by other psychics, and there's that moment that where they look at your cards and they go, "Ugh," like Might as well just say it. I know you're
Just
thinking
get
it.
it out. Yeah, you don't have to do this to me. Don't prolong my suffering.
Just say it. Oh, sorry about the sinuses. Like,
Stuffy Dottie
yeah,
is stuffy.
it's not COVID. It's just poor life decisions. That's what I've said like every time I've had something go on since this whole plague broke out, because my sinuses are kind of finicky, and I swear they're always like some of my most brilliant live streams. I go in sounding like this. I'm like, I don't know what happened. I know what happened this time at least. It was mold exposure, but that's all right. I'll be all right. So I was on your podcast. I'm sad that you had to archive your podcast. I definitely want to know when you bring that back.
So we have temporarily archived the podcast just because, you know, we are both people who work and, you know, now we're running a business together full time. And then on top of that, I said the ADHD, having to maintain something consistently is vastly different than doing a whole bunch of shit back to back and driving yourself crazy. It's a different kind of madness to be beholden to. And you know, because you do this and, you know what it's like to be like, okay, every week or every other week, you know, I'm consistently, I'm committed. Like I've got to sit down, and then you start to dread it. And there's like this anxiety, and so we're just releasing it and putting it on pause so we can come back with more resources and more free time and more funds to promote.
Right.
I'm thinking maybe like a year or so, and then hopefully we can pick it back up.
I certainly hope you do pick it up. It's a lot of fun. I love the podcast. Have you thought about just doing seasons, like taking
that's also my thought. Like if we can take a couple months to a year, recoup, plan out some seasons, record in advance, and make it a little more maintainable.
Right, man. I tell you what, oh my god, yeah, because you can't slip up with this shit. Like I always feel like it's like, what am I supposed to be working on right now? And I tell you what though, like since that podcast, I think like my life went to hell.
No,
why? Like, yeah, like I don't know if y'all been watching my stuff, but like it got real inconsistent there for a minute. I'm still trying to find. I did start a podcast though. Y'all inspired me to finally just start one.
Nice.
I had a lot of fun on your podcast. That was a good time.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun. You know, if I didn't constantly have 800 balls in the air.
Right.
A podcast is just a particularly big ball to juggle, you know. So.
You know, you gotta watch them balls.
Mm-hmm. You need less swinging, more intentional ball handling when it's a ball of that size.
Right. So tell me a little bit about what else you got going on. You said that I know I know this is horrible, but could you read my cards with those fancy cards? That is, I know you got another deck out, but that is my favorite.
With which cards? What cards?
The trader deck.
Okay, yeah. So we have this deck out, and then along with it, we actually have a whole line planned of tarot cloth. I'm having a stroke. Tarot cloths.
That's what they should be called.
Yeah, the cloths. That's the line. Yes. But we have a line plan of tarot cloths with different major spreads printed on them, similar to the deck. Like this is the positioning, and then it has notations and stuff. So we have one out now. So this deck is $12.50 US. The tarot cloth is $11, and it's a 2 foot by 2 foot square, and it's got the Celtic cross printed on it with the notes, and then it's got correspondences for each suit. with the zodiac signs, the elements, things like that, and talks about different things to do, like different types of readings to do during different moon phases. So like just different insights that would be helpful if they were accessible.
I'm going to drop your link here in the comments. That way people can find it, because I know you got an Etsy shop going.
So it's etsy.com/Back Porch Magick with a CK, or the website directly is backporchmagic with a CK.com. And if you click on shop, that will lead you to the Etsy as well.
Right. Shuffle for just a second. My dog's crying. There's always an interlude for the Luther interlude. Sorry. I love my dog. I love him. I swear. I'm sorry about this. My dog has to make his presence known during all live streams. It's like you only get a head cold, and Luther only has to pee during live streams. Otherwise, he's got a pretty good schedule. 100%. Yeah, I know. And Peanut, the regal Miss Peanut. Let's see if you can see her. Yeah, a little bit of a.
Oh, hello.
That's Peanut. Luther is under the table. He will be making his presence known, I'm sure, much later. Oh, poor life decisions. Very poor life decisions.
Poor Dottie. Stuffy Dottie. Okay.
That's why people watch live streams, is to watch people fall their face, right? That's the whole point of a live stream, right?
I do that all the time, so welcome.
We got 2 viewers right now. Hello. Yeah, I do need to get a Luther camera. I want to figure out how to split screen this. I guess I could probably just set him up on my cell phone, but the only thing you see, like, he's a big black dog and he likes to hide in dark, small spaces. Like, he's an 80-pound Labrador. And this dog,
what you can do is you can do it on your phone, or I had 2 cameras and I would log on to StreamYard as a guest through a different browser. So if I was using Chrome to stream, I would get on Firefox as a guest and use the other camera.
Ooh, well, there's my idea.
I would use like my computer camera, and then I have like an extra like webcam that I used.
That's not a bad idea, because I would love to catch this dog's reactions, because he will give you. I swear, my dog, he's smart. He'll give you a look. He'll like. One of his favorite things to do is he'll look at me and then he'll look away, like up, like, oh my God, woman. He's a good baby. He's a good pupper baby. You know, the random thumping is his tail.
Okay, so we have, I did a 3-card pull, and we have 5 of coins in reverse, which plainly, if we can see it.
I can't really.
No, there we go. Focus. There we go. Luck improving, positive changes, recovery, moving forward.
Finally, yes.
Finally getting out of that pit hole of like not having your resources met. That is the 5 of coins. It's flipping. It's reversing.
Yeah, and like when you said the 5 of coins, I'm like, I know what that's about.
Right. Been there, done that. Now we're coming out of the hole. Things are starting to take a turn. Then we have the 6 of coins upright, which is charitable. Oh, where is it? There we go. Charitable giving, sharing wealth, generosity. So it looks like that step up and step forward and getting out of that not feeling like you have your needs met place comes from connecting with others and reciprocal giving and like community.
That's crazy. I actually got a fortune cookie today. It said your respect of others will be your ticket to And the word is gone. Something good. It was my ticket to something good. I cannot remember that last word. It is gone.
But our third
Fortune, there
card,
we
we
go.
have the Seven of Coins reversed, which is it warns of getting lazy, complacent, impatient, being knocked down by the first setback. So it looks like you're used to being trotted on. You're used to things being difficult. You're used to having to tough through the mud and figure stuff out by yourself. And now you're coming into a place where people want to be helpful to you and like be good friends and have like a good support system. And that is foreign to you. So it's warning like, hey,
Now is not the time to take a break, bitch.
Right.
Do it.
Don't focus on the dark clouds and manifest a negative situation because you're so used to, you know, setbacks. So when you see it not happening immediately, we get impatient. We're like, oh, it's just going to be the same old shit. And it also warns against getting complacent and lazy when you see things do start to improve. Like, do not rest. Continue to push, but also recognize the hands that are being extended to you.
There's no rest for the ... That's pretty cool though. Like that was right in the pocket. Well, I told you when I was on the live stream now a month ago, that I was basically living off my last check from where I'd walked off my job. And since then, Keen has started picking up, and some friends of mine have actually been hiring me to do stuff. And it's hard physical labor, and I'm getting tired. I'm literally getting, I would say complacent's not quite the word because complacent implies some comfortability, and I have been busting my ass. That's part of the whole head cold. Bam. Okay, you know what? There's nothing like into reading. Do you ever run into this? Have you ever? I'm sure. If you're a dirt psychic like me, well, I call myself a trench psychic because I can read just about anywhere. After reading in a Jackson County bar, I can read just about anywhere. But there's nothing.
I've read in many a bar, yes.
Right. There's nothing like getting a reading from another trench psychic, and they're like, I still have trouble reading for myself. Like that is something.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's with anybody because you have personal reference, so you can talk yourself in and out of. I mean, you know, with any psychic or clear gift,
right?
When you're in your own head and knowing for yourself, and you have like the background information, you're like, is this just me telling myself what I want to hear per usual, but with added tools and some flair? Or is this really like a gift and a message coming through? Because that's two different things. And when it's for somebody else and you don't have that story, you're like, this is just what I'm getting. And it's
right.
You don't have that.
That's what I see.
Emotional filter.
Right. 100%. I think I actually talk about, I want to do a whole video on why witches shouldn't read their own cards. Why psychics shouldn't read their own cards. Because there is that, but I mean, like, it's not like a mystical thing. It's a standing in your own way thing.
Right. Well, and then I agree and disagree. I only read cards for myself when I am in transition, like in the thick of it and having to make some tough choices. And I use it as like an analytical tool, which is what it is. Right. So when I left my ex-husband, before I left my ex-husband, I did a decision-making spread. And I'm like, let's just see, like, am I just out of my ass?
Have I lost my damn mind? Or
right. What's my motivation here? And I do this decision-making spread where you have like the source of the subject, and then you do 3 cards this way for one possible path, and then 3 cards down this way for the other possible path, just to see like near future, long-term outcome kind of thing. And it was like, stay, misery, discomfort, isolation, leave, rejuvenation, renewal, healing. And I was like, okay, you didn't have to do all that, but heard. But I do, and then of course you're like, is it just me? And so have other people read, and it validates it. But
right.
But I did have like this cathartic moment of, seeing the intuition on paper where it can't just be in my head arguing with my feelings.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because I'll tell you what, that is one thing I will say about reading for yourself is sometimes, especially if it's a deck that you have a good personal connection with, they can be brutal. They will just kill you.
I was just kidding. I didn't mean to pull that. I'm just gonna put it back.
So, what else have I know we talked about the oh my god, English, it's hard.
The Clarths.
The Clarths, yes, we talked about the Clarths. And we talked about this deck, and I know you got some other goodies on your site.
Yes. So we have the deck and the cloth, which are the start of our like tarot package. We also have a workbook / tarot journal that has just the introduction to 3-card spreads and how you can interpret, like if they're facing each other, facing away from each other, like different nuances.
Right.
And then a journal for like who you're reading for, which setup are you using, and then that's only like $7, I think. And then we're going to start doing different modules where we advance it, and you can use them for spell work and stuff like that. But it's kind of like a build your own journal / learning tool.
Cool.
So we have that. And then we've also done a line of herbal blends that you can smoke, mixed with tobacco or what have you, or by itself.
I don't need to be smoking anything right now.
Right. You can brew them in teas. You can diffuse them in ritual baths. They're completely food grade. You can use them for any type of spell work or manifestation, but they have different intentions and uses. So we have those.
I do love a good herb pack that I can throw in spaghetti sauce. Something you can actually like cook with is always great.
We have we're starting deity candles. So we have Bast, we have Kali Ma, we have Shiva, we have a deer mother goddess kind of candle, and we're just adding on to those with different, because they're just not accessible. So I'm like importing custom molds from Russia of different deities from different pantheons and pouring candles in my kitchen. They're doing great. And now people have Bast candles and Kali Ma candles and shit. So
I know where to do my solstice shopping now.
If
I live that long, good God. That was attractive.
I built a laser off of Amazon from South Korea. I did not die or lose any fingers in the process. And now I've been engraving wood runes. So we're doing rune sets. Those are on there. And also cutting wood discs, like with the bark still on them, and engraving them with pendulum boards with different art that Kat's drawn and made custom pendulums to go with them. So those are on there as well. And everything's under like $15-20. It's stupid, but it's the dream that I've always had for like the super accessible, like Five Below style, genuine metaphysical store.
The stuff that you wanted to get as a teenager but couldn't afford.
Because I was that teenager. Like, I don't have any money to go in that fancy ass store. No, this is not a fancy ass store. This is a cheap and accessible store. It's approachable. Anybody that wants to read tarot can pick up and read tarot with $12. Yeah.
Right. I do really like the training decks. Oh. I forgot where I was going. I had a point to that, but it's gone.
You just wanted to compliment me, and that's fine.
Right. No, I do, but I do love the whole website and everything. And I know that we actually met through a friend of mine who was your editor, your show editor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She's our social media manager as well, and she is literally the best.
I love Katie. I gotta tell you what, she's out there hustling, making it work.
Mm-hmm. She has more energy and drive than I ever will in my entire life, and I'm okay with that. And that's why I pay her to do things.
You know what? That's why I got a social media manager too. Speaking of which, anytime you want to check out Mystic PC to take care of all your Mystic media needs. I quit. I'm tired. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, what was the peace up and peace out? A-town down. What'd you say? What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. This really has been like there's just like a whole bunch of stuff on your website, and I want to make sure that I kind of make sure I hit all the stuff, because I'm sorry about that you had to. I really can't wait for you to bring back the podcast, because that was a lot.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited to bring it back, but we'll get there. We are well on our way. But aside from that, you can catch our girl Heidi doing tarot readings on Facebook on Tuesday nights, and you can book with her privately on the website, as well as access the shop where you can find all of our cool tarot and witch beginner shit that's super affordable. And we'll probably be adding some more stuff here because we're going to start doing events ideally. So
let me know what events, because I need to start putting events on my calendar and trying to get back out there into the world.
I know, it's a weird
liminal space. That's where
it's a weird
place.
We're
in between being completely screwed where we were on lockdown and this vague idea that maybe if everybody just does what they were told, we could go play.
But they're not, and it's like amping back up, and I'm afraid I go. So pre-COVID, I did circus arts. I did trapeze and silks and shit. And COVID shut that down. And in the process of being in quarantine and inactive for over a year, I got diagnosed with an autoimmune arthritis that tries to fuse my spine together. So I'm just stiff and like achy, and my fitness that I had worked up rapidly declined. And so yesterday I went to an intro to pole class for the first time to get back out there, and I'm like, my body hurts, but I love it. And we're gonna try and do more weird stuff in the future, but then I'm like, that Delta variant's creeping up. It's just like coming. So I'm not trying to get my hopes up that I'll be able to continue to engage with the public.
I tell you what, I got vaccinated, but I'm about to start going back to just wearing my mask. And I'm like, yes, I've got my card that says I took my shots, because I've had to have those as a nurse, I had to have them for every job I ever had.
Right. You act like being required to show your papers is a new thing.
It's not, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. Everything's fine.
We're fine. I am hoping that we can get out and do events starting in the fall, because I'm gonna try and get. I got my struggle buggy 3.0. I'm gonna call her Kathy after my mom, because my mom's like, name it Gypsy. I'm like, Mom, I don't think I can name it Gypsy. I think that's a slur nowadays. Okay, well, just name it Kathy then. I'm like, my dying mother. Okay, Mom, I will name my van after you.
I love that. Sincerely. That's beautiful.
It is. It'll be a lot more beautiful when it's running. Getting from here to there. That's the. I think that's where the complacency. That's where the 7 of coins upside down comes. I need to get my butt out there and get finished on the van.
It'd be like that.
Yeah, sometimes it do.
And sometimes like that it be.
I agree.
Amen.
Pass the schnapps. Yeah, I'm supposed to do a live stream. Now we're just in the chit chat. We've had a chance to sell our wares. I always try to get that out of the way, make sure we get it done. But now that we're just in the chit chat bit, I'm supposed to do a live stream this Saturday. I'm gonna do drunken tarot on this guy's live stream.
I love that.
I'm a lightweight. This is a bad idea. My reading, I go from Sylvia Brown to RuPaul real freaking fast.
I've been known, or so I'm told, because anytime we're going to a bachelorette party weekend, or we're going to like the family reunion, or like this is a destination wedding, like might as well pack my tarot cards in case I get drunk and people approach me, because that's the only way I know how to communicate as an awkward person.
Provide a certain shield.
Right. Something to do with my hands, a purpose.
Yeah.
So I'm known to bust them out drunk at parties, get tips. It's fun. But I'm known to black out with friends and read them for filth and then not recall. And they're like, you just told me like my boyfriend's a piece of shit and I don't love him. I don't love my ex either. But like, like, yeah, I mean, that tracks. I don't recall that, but
right.
Sounds legit.
Sometimes, you know what, that's like the dark side of it is sometimes you just start like go a little too far. I remember because I used to I didn't drink at the bar I was reading at because I was the sober one driving home. But these people would come up and be like, read my cards. And I'd be like, no, you're too drunk to even remember this. Pay in advance. If you want me to read your cards, you're going to have to pay in advance.
Facts.
Alcohol and tarot. Now there's a video idea. There is a video idea. Mixing substances. So is there anything else you want to talk about, or you got any events coming up, anything like that?
No, I've shielded my wares, and I'm just here in the world and on the interwebs to make cheap shit and harass people verbally.
You know what? That's a good life, though, right? That's the life you want to live.
My day.
Hell, I'm trying to make a buck doing the same thing. That's You're
doing a great job. I thank you for having me.
I'm glad to have you. I'm sorry Kat couldn't make it on. Maybe next time we'll have more.
Yeah, 100% next time, because we do have we're trying to launch but are having to postpone because of funding an oracle deck based on the traditional folklore of the Seelie and Unseelie Fae.
Ooh.
The art is completely finished. We're just working on, and we were trying to get a loan to finish it out, but that didn't pan out. So we're just bootstrapping the funding, and it's just going to be slow. But once we get to the point where we've got it published,
crowdfunding on it.
We did some crowdfunding, and now we're covering the difference.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm hype about it, but it's one of those slow and steady things because we want it to be like really nice, like gilded and shit, and it's still going to be super affordable. But
you want to make
a startup cost to get it nice for an affordable price is more. You've got to buy in higher volume, so we're planning ahead so we can put out something nice and still make it cheap.
That's actually really exciting. I think I saw some, because do you have that up on your website? Something about that on the, because I was looking at it like, ooh, that's the fancy, because that's the fancy deck I was talking about earlier.
Yep.
I'm excited about that. You know what? I need to sit down and do something like that myself. I may have to get a hold of you later and find out how to publish a deck, because I've got this deck I drew what feels like a million years ago. And I'm kind of proud of the art. It's a little weird, just like myself. But I've always thought about, redoing it, cleaning it up, all that.
Definitely possible. I mean, when me and Kat started this deck, which was our first deck, we had no idea how to publish a deck. We had no idea how to create a deck. We were just like, we know how to read a deck pretty well. And Kat, you can draw, kind of. So fuck it, let's try it. Just had to figure stuff out every step of the way.
Go for the goal, man. That's what you got to do. Well, I didn't know anything about YouTube. Like, you're going to look at my videos and I look like I know what I'm doing now, but that's not how I started. I didn't even know how to edit. I did not know. I didn't know that your computer comes with an editing program. It's for crap, but Windows has an editing program. That's how I started.
Yep, 100%.
All right, so let me tell everybody, I am trying to get back on track. I'm gonna try and start putting out one big fancy video, random live streams, and my prediction video on YouTube. I am starting a podcast where my live streams will also go, and I'll do episodes occasionally. They're just me. So if you got a friend who's into podcasts, check that out. I don't even know what all social media I'm on now.
Just like put in Dottie the Psychic and see what comes up. And if it
you
looks
can Google
like,
my ass, I'm there. I'm all over Google. Google knows my name. Google knows my name. I tell you, one place I am is WestVirginiaPsychics.com. Check out WV Psychics. Because that is actually like a little coalition of West Virginia psychics. Like a bunch of us are getting together. Eventually, I'm hoping to we'll get people from all over the state. The idea is to get together, kind of this rising tides raise all ships. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, there we go. Oh my god!
Look, go take some antihistamines and lay somewhere.
I did my wig for you. I gotta go fix all my wigs.
Bless it. I'm sorry, I have to leave. I have to go fix all my wigs.
I have to go fix all my wigs. Look, I tell you what. Look, see that in the background? Do you see that glorious mess? That is my literary librarian wig. I spent all of $5 on it, and I have not regretted a single penny of it. If the thing caught fire tomorrow, I would cry like a bitch. When that thing finally goes down, when it is finally no longer functional, I will have to bury it with rights. All right, also check out backporchmagick.com. Magic with a K.
That'd be me.
Yep. And it's Back Porch Folk Podcast, which is right. I know you got 23 episodes up right now. It might be a while before they get another one out, but you can go back and listen to what they already got.
The archives are worth browsing through, and they won't stay until our great return, like the good Lord had saith.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely want to be there for that. Let me know, and we'll have another live stream because I will totally promote the shit out of that.
100%, and we will absolutely have you back because that was
wonderful. A lot of fun. You can say I certainly have personality and a mental disorder. Oh my god, I heard the best quote ever. This is why my shows go on forever because I'll be like, okay, we're gonna wrap it up. Oh wait, squirrel. One of my good friends told me, she's like, this guy says, I love your personality. And she says, thanks, it's a disorder.
It's a disorder. Yeah. I've said that more than once in my life. I meant it sincerely.
Right. Okay, I'm really wrapping it up this time because I think I am actively dying.
We're going to shut this down so we can call a medic. We'll see what happens.
I'm going to go have a hot toddy.
God's speed.
All right. Get off her porch. I love that. That was the greatest ending. And safe travel and much profit to you.